Coming up right now, the numbers are in, and if you're looking for love, you likely won't find it in one of the most popular U.S. states.
Also coming up, joining one New York City gym is going to cost you 3 times the average house payment.
A little bit later on, a Beverly Hills housewife is catching heat after giving her 16-year-old daughter a very expensive gift.
Daily Flash starts right now.
Get ready for trending news and entertainment. This is Daily Flash with your hosts, Andrea Jackson and Mitch English. The fun starts right now. This is Daily Flash.
Hi, everybody. I'm Andrea Jackson.
I'm Mitch English, welcoming you to Daily Flash for this Wednesday, halfway through the week. Matt Doolittle will be checking in with him as well.
Hello.
Maddie, how are you hanging out over there?
I got a question for everybody. So, at what age do you stop caring about just walking around the gym at, like, you know, your LA Fitness or Sport, just naked?
50.
What age?
58 for
Okay.
men.
Because
Okay.
I go in the middle of the day because of our schedule, and there's older men there.
Yeah.
And it's just
don't
old
care.
naked guys walking around. It's like, put a towel on or something. Come on.
And not to get in the women's, is everybody walking around? We have towels.
Yeah, most of them wear towels, but yeah, I get it. It's uncomfortable. I
Yeah.
don't care for it.
It's like,
Yeah,
I don't want to
it's
see my
weird.
future.
It's
It's okay. I don't need to see the future.
I think what it is that it's much like how women wear clothes, and correct me if I'm wrong, women wear clothes for other women, more or less, so they want to look good. So if you're walking around naked or whatever, it does show everything. But for guys, you get to an age, because I'm closer to that age now, where I don't care anymore, man. I just don't care. And that is why you're seeing these
You just
many
don't care.
guys.
I mean, it's just there, and then they're sitting on stuff. You're going, no, put a towel down. Come on.
I would not sit on anything without a towel. I can promise you that.
Blow dryers are everywhere. It's a thing.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think, putting the towel down is an
Yeah,
extremely important part of
just flat on the bench.
gym behavior. What about restaurant behavior? Have you found...
I've walked naked in restaurants many times, yes.
Have either of you guys worked in a restaurant?
My parents own restaurants.
so
I didn't
you
trust
know.
myself.
So there's a list of rude behaviors that have been brought about by restaurant workers, by patrons that come in, and they say, look, when you walk in the door, the host is not necessarily the low person on the totem pole, so don't treat them like crap.
Really?
So that's one rude behavior. The other one is like snapping fingers at food servers.
That's...
Ordering something that's not on the menu and expecting it to be prepared. Sending back food, obviously, is another big one. Yeah.
Well, I'm afraid to send back food.
Oh, me
first
too,
off. I think it's important too if it's really way off. It was like when I ordered the steak tartare. I don't send anything back. Steak tartare, I had no idea that was just raw beef.
Beef carpaccio, you knew.
I
but
thought-
steak tartare, you were not aware of. Yeah.
Just watch the movie Waiting, and you'll never send anything back again. And that was based on local restaurants around this area too.
Here's what a general rule is when I go to restaurants. If it's in a college town, meaning like college kids, I think of Waiting, that show.
It was based down by University here. The Bennigans used to be on the University Boulevard here.
I've heard that before.
Yeah. Yeah, never send back food. That's always, you're risking it.
You're going to get the Batwing.
Yeah.
If you do that, you're getting the Batwing.
No matter what. All right, let's move on to some trending news. And according to research from Spokio.com, the Sunshine State has been ranked the actual worst state for singles looking for nub. Right?
We're gonna put that
Nub
in
or
there.
love?
Looking for love. The website says it actually used several factors to rank each state, like mental and physical health, politics, and debt. Spokio claims the Sunshine State's notorious for identity theft and fraud, which actually could add to the challenges of navigating the dating scene. Now, for those of you who are curious or bi-curious to know to look for better dating prospects, website has identified 5 states as the best option for singles. Here they are. Massachusetts, Mississippi, Louisiana, Michigan, and South Dakota. So if you want to go to those, I lived in Mississippi. I don't see it too terribly far off from what Florida's all about, but I guess with the identity issues.
Same with Louisiana. I think that's a bogus survey.
Spokio.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but everybody
please.
filters into Florida, where America's like kind of
Sock.
junkyard. Yeah,
Yes.
everything gets like filtered down to here. When they're done up there, they come here.
So back in revolutionary times, they would send all the prisoners and bad people to Georgia. Really, Georgia was much like London would send all the people to Australia. So that same concept was Georgia. But then they go, hey, there's Florida, all these beaches. Let's just everybody move from Georgia down to Florida there. But we do have a lot of most of the people that live in Orlando, it's hard to find like true Floridians.
This is true, yeah, that were born and raised here.
I'm one of the few born and raised, and I've left here 5-6 times, and I ended up back here.
But there's that saying, like, if you want to not be found again, move to Florida. Further south, the Keys.
Okay, I agree with that.
You want to get lost permanently, you go to the Keys.
Okay.
That's
you
one
can
option.
do it.
Yeah,
Very
you
simple.
can.
Very close to Cuba, too. If you
Yeah, very true. Want to find a new way to get in with the A-listers? Try adding your name to the waiting list for Continuum. It's the exclusive new $10,000 a month wellness social club in New York City. The flagship gym is considered a health retreat featuring a luxury lounge and gym where membership is limited to just 250 VIPs. Continuum is the latest gym in the premium fitness sector. A specialist with the help of AI designs a personalized wellness plan after a series of testing is done on you. The company plans to add locations in Miami and LA as soon as next year.
Now, if I'm going to this gym, I'm walking naked everywhere I go. I don't care. I'm walking in naked. I'm walking out naked if I want to.
Those bench press spots are going to be weird, though, when you got to get over to somebody. And
having that exclusivity, there's going to be people that will pay it, obviously, because if there's a market there and they already said they're going to branch out, sometimes people don't want to go to the gym that's crowded and that sort of thing, and you want your own time there. But it seems like if you can afford $10,000, you can just make your own gym.
Build your own gym.
Yeah,
exactly.
somewhere
in your mansion.
Even if in a mansion, like buy like a building somewhere, and for $10,000 a month, you can do that.
$10,000 a month, right?
It's a lot.
It does seem like a lot of money.
Beverly Hills housewife Kyle Richards says that she's fine and with her husband buying their 16-year-old daughter a $90,000 Porsche. Kylie actually said her youngest daughter, Portia, deserves a luxury sports car as her first car.
Because her name's Portia.
It's a play on word. Her other daughter, Hugo, not so happy. Richards defended the pricey park tag, saying that her car wasn't as expensive as reported. She also claims that her daughter is a good driver, straight A student, good kid. Family had a rare appearance together after Kyle's estranged husband moved out back in May, 9 months after they announced their split following 27 years of marriage. Still to this day, I don't care what you say, how good they are in school and what they deserve. You're buying that car to show off for you.
Yes.
You're saying, look what I can afford my kid.
I used to hang out in a rich people neighborhood a little bit, and I saw 16-year-olds getting Land Rovers like once every other week. Every kid in that neighborhood had a Land Rover.
The only way I'll excuse it if it was like passed down and Dad got the new car or Mom got the new car and she got the old.
That was
Land
mine.
Rover.
I got a Pontiac. I got a Grand Prix because my mom got an Infiniti.
Even if it's a couple years old, it's not, at least.
Your first
it's
car?
past it. Was a Rabbit, Volkswagen Rabbit.
Okay, mine was a Honda Accord.
Honda Accord.
Hatchback.
I bet you it's still driving these
Probably
days.
does, yeah. Well, I wrecked that darn thing when I was 16, which is another reason why you should not give a 16-year-old a $90,000 car, because eventually they'll roll it or wreck it somehow,
It's going to happen, right?
So I rolled that car and it got totaled, and then about a month later I saw it driving back out on the street. Someone else had bought the car.
And you knew because of the bumper sticker,
Because
right?
the bumper sticker had I Love My MTV on the back of it. And I was like that and a Billy Idol sticker. And I was like, that's my car! I pulled the guy over. I'm like, what are you doing driving my car? He wrecked it. And he's like, I just bought it from the junkyard for $100.
And knowing that and that's the thing, those Hondas will go back, especially the ones they built back then, will go forever.
Yeah.
So, all right.
An 81-year-old Boston woman who drives trains for the Massachusetts Transportation Authority was named the world's oldest train operator by the Guinness Book of World Records. Helen Antonucci, who started working for the MBTA at the age of 53 in 1995, has been driving the Blue Line trains for nearly 3 decades. She was named the world's oldest train operator after a coworker applied for the record on her behalf. Antonucci, who is approaching her 82nd birthday, said she has no plans to retire, adding that she will bring passengers to and from where they need to go until the organization tells her she can't do it anymore.
All right. Which you think should there be like age limits for people that are driving? Here's the thing about it. When you're on a train and they leave the blinker on that long, that's always an issue.
They're never going to turn.
They're never going to turn because they're on track. Should there be age limits? One of the hardest things that you'll hear, like families that have older, maybe their grandparents or parents rather, taking the license away because that's like their last bastion of freedom and be able to go out. But then you think about a train or even a bus or that sort of thing where you're hauling other people around.
Yeah.
It is kind of scary. But if she's passing all the cognitive skills and that sort of thing, why not?
Because I think that I think we've seen it recently where you can have an 80-year-old who is 100%, cognitive on the money, and you can have somebody who is also in full-on dementia. So it's sort of like, well, why discriminate against one person if they're totally capable of doing the job.
I kind of like having an 80-year-old woman driving because they're not
They're
hip
not
on
on the phone.
because how many stories have we heard about that?
That is a great point.
You think about that. It's
A
like
20-year-old will be on this phone driving the train, and then before you know it,
crash. You never know what happens.
The 80-year-old, not so much.
We'd love to hear what you have to say about this. Should there be age limits on jobs that require, over general safety? You can also go to our website, dailyflashshow.com to sound off, but you can also drop us an email at flash@dailyflashshow. We'd love to hear from you because then we share your thoughts, not only on social media, but also on the show.
Sound off. We're back right after this. Welcome back to Daily Flash. Much has been said about the gut-brain connection, meaning that healthy gut bacteria may improve our brain health. Joining us now with some natural ways to improve our gut health is nutrition and health specialist Sarah Baker. Sarah, welcome back to Daily Flash.
So much for having me. I always love chatting with you.
Yeah, you've got great information and you've got some tips for us today on how to improve our gut health. Let's start with the first one. You say remove offending foods. Please explain.
Yeah, so I always love starting with like a gut reset for a lot of my patients here in Chicago. And I always recommend a 21-day kind of protocol that removes a lot of the common trigger foods. So these common trigger foods are going to be gluten, dairy, soy, and processed sugar. And of course, processed foods, they're kind of like all known to cause inflammation in the gut, which leads to issues like leaky gut syndrome, IBS, and other digestive disorders. So when you eliminate these foods, you really give your gut a chance to heal and reduce this inflammation. This helps improve your nutrient absorption and just your overall gut health. And it can also help identify any food sensitivities or intolerances that may be just kind of like contributing to your gut issues in a whole.
Okay, the second thing on your list, you say breakfast, have your breakfast and make it up of protein and produce.
Yes. So you really want to focus on like what are the nourishing foods that you can add to your diet if you're being mindful of what you should eliminate. And I always say start with what you're consuming first thing in the morning. So a breakfast of protein and veggies not only helps repair the gut and helps keeps your cravings at bay, it really works on regulating your blood sugar. So when you avoid carbs and even fruits for breakfast and you move them later to your day, you really help stabilize your blood sugar fluctuations and it prevents spikes that can then lead to more cravings and gut issues down the road. And then bonus points if you can start your day sipping on bone broth or lemon water with ACV, apple cider vinegar, because bone broth is really rich in collagen and nutrients that help repair the gut lining. And lemon water helps you increase your hydrochloric acid, so your stomach acid, which helps you break down your nutrients even better. All of this helps reduce bloating, inflammation, and just helps you kind of repair the gut.
So if we can set aside our coffee for a few hours, you say go ahead and start with the bone broth. Is it okay to have coffee, if we're trying to clear out our gut health? Because look, most everybody loves a good cup of coffee first thing in the morning.
For sure, for sure. That's the number one question I get. And I always say, as long as you are pairing a healthy fat and a protein with your coffee, you're good to go. So a little hack I always recommend is adding some collagen peptides unflavored to your coffee and either heavy cream if you're not doing a gut reset, just for general purposes, or when you are doing a gut reset, adding in coconut cream. And it actually makes your coffee into this delicious concoction that's healthy, healing, and also stabilizes blood sugar.
Okay. Wow. So adding more gut healing nutrients, including the bone broth and the coconut milk for the coffee. Excellent advice.
Yep.
What about timing between meals and your bedtime routine?
Yes. So it's really important to allow 3 to 4 hours between your meals because this helps what's called the migrating motor complex. It's the natural system in our gut that helps move our digestive system and moves food down and out of our gut. So it gives our digestive system time to properly break down everything and helps with absorption from the foods that we eat. And so the most important thing is going to bed by 10. And this is really, really important because our natural circadian rhythm helps us digest and detox overnight. So research shows that when we have disruptions within our sleep, such as like staying up late or waking frequently throughout the night, this negatively impacts digestion, detox, and repair, which can lead to obviously, inflammation, intestinal permeability, and then all those common symptoms like bloating, weight loss resistance, and then puffiness from that inflammation.
What would you say, Sarah, is the best cutoff point when we should maybe have our last meal before bedtime? Is it 3 hours? Is it 2 hours? Are we safe with 1 hour? What would you recommend?
Yeah, I love this question. So I typically recommend at least 3 hours if you do not have sleep problems. So have your meal at 7 if you go to bed at 10, or have your last meal at 6 if you go to bed closer to 9. That then also gives your body more time to repair other systems within your body, like liver, brain, lymphatic system, instead of focusing on digesting all your food. If you notice that you wake up throughout the night, you might benefit from having a late night snack like 30 minutes before bed, but you want to make sure that it's a protein and a fat source. So that could be, like a little chomp stick with, almond butter, or, something simple like that, just to help your blood sugar overnight.
Yeah, I just heard somebody suggest having a spoonful of peanut butter before you go to bed. And I was like, what? I've never heard that before. But they said it has helped them sleep through the night.
Yeah, and there's definitely truth to that, because when you have a good healthy fat overnight, it kind of just helps stabilize your blood sugar levels. And a lot of people wake throughout the night because they experience a blood sugar dip. And so when your blood sugar declines overnight, then you kind of wake up, because in order to increase your blood sugar levels, your cortisol levels have to increase, which causes you to arouse. So all in all, all these nutrition tips, they're very bio individual, so everybody benefits from different shifts, but all the general tips I included can really help everybody.
Yeah, some great advice. I'm just going to run down our list one more time. Remove offending foods, breakfast of protein and produce, great advice there. Adding more gut healing nutrients, and timing between meals and bedtime. All very thoughtful ideas. Anything else you'd like to add before we let you go, Sarah?
Yes, I have a few other additional little tips here. I always have tips up my sleeve. My last one is all about aloe juice. So sipping aloe vera juice before bed can have a really soothing and healing effect on the gut. So aloe vera contains compounds that help reduce our inflammation, support digestion, and helps us be more regular the next day. So drinking a small amount of this really kind of helps everything.
Sarah, always great to talk to you. Thank you so much for this terrific information. And for more information on Sarah, you can check out her website, sarahnicolebaker.com. You can also follow her on Instagram at Sarah Baker Health. And we will post this interview on our website, dailyflashshow.com. Stay with us. Still plenty more to come here on the show. We're back right after this.
Well, the rumors are true. Kendrick Lamar and DJ Mustard filmed their official music video for their hit single, Not Like Us, in his hometown, Compton. Footage from the shoot surfaced online showing loads of people participating in the music video that had fans buzzing earlier all this week. Fans filled the streets of Compton before Kendrick even showed up. But the real party started once he pulled up with DJ Mustard. I'm telling you, it was a huge party. Kendrick got a chance to film the video in his hometown, and Not Like Us debuted at #1, and it's currently sitting at #6 on the Hot 100 after 6 total weeks on the chart. Even Recording Academy CEO Harvey Mason Jr. says the diss track winning a Grammy might not be conventional, but now it definitely is possible. I can't even believe this. Kendrick Lamar performed this song 5 times to close out his historic pop-out with Ken and Friends that took place inside the Kia Forum in Inglewood, California. Even Snoop Dogg had some kind words for Kendrick. He's basically summing up that he's the king. I don't know if he's the king of Compton, the king of rap, or just the king in general. But I mean, it's amazing for him, but that's not even all for Drake. Almost a week after Kendrick held his live stream pop-out concert in Los Angeles, he performed his Drake diss track for the first time. It seems as though Drake started catching strays from even the most innocent bystanders, like Shaq. Shaq entered the chat with one of the weirdest Drake memes I probably have ever seen in my life. He posted this picture on his story, a Photoshop picture of himself on a yacht grabbing Drake's butt, who, as you can see, is also wearing a bikini. This is all just completely confusing to me. He also used Metro Boomin's edit of BBL Drizzy as the song for the post, and that song might be the worst song I've ever heard. It might be worse than Ariana Grande's take on the dream dinner date being Jeffrey Dahmer. The song is so bad, it got a group of major record labels to sue the AI companies that created the song, alleging they wrongfully used popular artists' work to train their systems to produce copyrighted music without their consent. But hey, at least Drake has a song with Camila Cabello coming up. This is Fabian Maricano. You just saw the beat. Catch me for more at dailyflashshow.com.
Look at there, Fabian. Oh, well, welcome to this week's edition of Is It True?, where I ask our lovely hosts a question, and they have to decide if it's true or if false. You guys ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, this week we are going to start with a bit of a sound clip from singer, actor, real estate mogul, Mr. Robert Matthew Van Winkle himself, Vanilla Ice.
So you actually will never owe property tax on the entire property forever. Forever. You will also...
In every state?
Yes, in the United States of America.
So if I put a dead body in my backyard, anyone, right? Any dead body.
Your family.
So, is it true that according to Mr. Vanilla Ice Ice Baby, if you bury a dead relative on your property, you won't have to pay a property tax on it ever again in any state of America? What say ye?
Well, I mean, if Vanilla Ice says yes, it's got to be true. So, and he's shaking his head a lot. I would say 100%. Yeah, I guess you could do that. I mean, it has to be stipulations, though.
So some people have tried this with golf courses that we learned last year, but this is actually false.
Oh.
So it's one of those legalese things, but you can claim the land as a burial ground and it can become tax exempt. However, there's always that. The General Property Tax Act 206 of 1893 provides that the land used exclusively be used as a burial grounds, the rites of burial and the tombs and monuments in the land while reserved and in use for that purpose is exempt from taxation. So you have to get certain zoning for it, but only the area you settle on, depending on the state, could be tax-free.
Okay.
But that's all the area can be used for. For instance, again, you can't bury someone there around a golf course.
That
That's
makes
not
sense.
how that works. Yeah. All right, next up on Is It True? A good chunk of us have had an energy drink here and there, Mitch,
Today.
Me, today, but we all know there's some iffy stuff in there, but what about cyanide?
Heard of a Celsius energy drink? Celsius energy drink has 4 times the amount of daily cyanide that a human being's meant to ingest. 4 times, that's just one sample. So drink Monster or Bang. I mean, drink Bang, not Monster or Celsius, right? Bang has methylcobalamin, this has cyanocobalamin.
So a TikTok video went viral claiming that energy drinks such as Monster and Celsius have unhealthy levels of cyanide. So is it true or false that those energy drinks contain unhealthy levels of cyanide?
No.
What say ye?
Okay, cyanide will kill you. So unhealthy amounts, obviously, it does not. I can see it.
This, again, is false. You can't believe everything you hear on the internet, Mitch. Can you believe that? The drinks contain B12, and it's incorrectly linked to hydrogen cyanide. The type found in energy drinks is a synthetic, non-toxic form of vitamin B12, though there's a bunch of other stuff in there that's probably not good for you, but at least it ain't cyanide.
So we had 2 people there that talked with so much conviction, it made it sound like it was for real. Do you know what I'm saying?
From the interwebs.
That's all you have to do these days is just make sure you sound. We'll be back with more, I promise, right after this.
KSA Entertainment is proud to produce and provide a robust collection of entertaining, uplifting, and timely content to broadcast, cable, and streaming platforms in the U.S., Canada, and Puerto Rico. KSA Entertainment. On point, on air. This is Daily Flash with your hosts, Andrea Jackson and Mitch English. Trending news and entertainment. This is Daily Flash.
Hi, everybody. I'm Mitch English.
I'm Andrea Jackson. This is Daily Flash, your source for trending news and entertainment.
So glad to have you here along. We're going to get you all that information you need to get your day going on. We go now to Australia, where a museum there, it's called MONA, which means the Museum of Old and New Art. MONA, M-O-N-A.
Okay.
All right, really interesting. Well, back a few months ago, they had made an exhibit but they would only allow women to go in and see it, right?
Okay.
And so it was a women's only, basically art event. Well, guys were like, well, it's not fair. I mean, the museum's supposed to be for everybody.
everybody, sure.
So a judge came out and said, listen, you can't do this. You got to open up the doors for absolutely everybody. They go, okay, no problem. Well, an American artist, I don't want to give her name, says, all right, well, no problem. I have a new installation that I'd like to present. And she brings all these arts of Picasso and puts them all in the women's bathroom. So if you want to go and see, this art of Picasso, now not only that, like a very famous painting from Picasso, right above the toilet too, in the women's room. So the only way you can see it is go into the women's bathroom. So everybody's up in arms right now. They worked around it, I guess, is one way. But also, if a judge came out and says, listen, everybody has to do it. If this is an art exhibit for women only, you say women only, but the judge also said, listen, you can't do that. Now you're going to have guys in the bathroom.
Couldn't you have a guy just be like, for 5 minutes, like, yeah, I'm a woman, and walk in, and then be like, all right, I'm back.
I identify as a
woman. I want to see
In this
Picasso.
day and age, you probably could. There's an argument for
And
that.
on the way out, I'll be like, no, I'm good. No, I'm back to the other side.
No, listen, that's not how it goes. If a guy walks in the bathroom, he walk out and go, do not go in there. Right?
They have a couch?
They have a couch? How come they sell stuff on the wall? We don't have a vending machine.
We don't have anything. So much nicer.
You do not want
you don't
guys
stick
in
to
your
the
bathroom.
floor. Things are pleasant. It's great.
Now, here's the thing. If you're hanging a photo in the bathroom, are you hanging it on the stall door in the women's restroom? Because if you're hanging it on the wall in the stall, nobody's going to see it.
Well, you'd have to walk. Well, a guy would.
Well,
Because
a guy would.
a
A guy would be able to see if it's facing the wall,
But
but
the
it
woman
needs to be
wouldn't.
hanging on the stall
They said
door.
this one is right above the toilet. So
then you have to.
You would have to stand and look at the toilet
Put a
as well as
mirror
the
on the
Picasso.
door. Well, yeah, you could put it. No, it'd have to be on the stall door.
Well,
it would
it's
have to be on the stall door.
abstract.
In the
If
women's.
it's super progressive, no stalls. So.
Well, that's true. There is a restroom here in Orlando at the Dr. Phillips Center. The women's restroom has a huge chandelier in it.
Oh,
See,
would you?
I can
That's one other
appreciate
thing
that.
that you guys don't have in your restroom.
we
Jeez,
don't
you
get
guys
nice
have
things.
everything in there.
According to research from Spokio.com, Florida has been ranked as the worst state for singles looking for love. Again, this is Spokio.com. The website says it used several factors, I'm sure it did, to rank each state, like mental and physical health, politics, and debt. Spokio claims the Sunshine State is notorious for identity theft and fraud, which can add to the challenges of navigating the dating scene. I think that's true anywhere these days. For those curious to know where to look for better dating prospects, the site identified 5 of its favorites. Here they are for singles. They include Massachusetts, Mississippi, Louisiana, Michigan, and South Dakota. Now, I'll tell you off the top, Massachusetts and Michigan are 2 of the most expensive states to live in.
I could imagine that. Maybe there's, and I think Louisiana and Mississippi, since they're next to each other, that's interesting that those 2 make the list.
And
Is it
South
availability?
I don't know. And South Dakota. That's
South Dakota,
kind
I
of
never
a
would have thought
random
that.
place for singles.
And when it comes to, listen, when I got on the dating scene after I got divorced, I wasn't going to go, gosh, am I going to fall victim for identity fraud? Am I, you know what I'm saying? Because you do. That's why you go on a second date or the third date or whatever. That's when you find out about the person that you might
you
be
do some
wanting to date.
research.
Yeah, you got to. It's interesting that they use those factors for politics and that sort of thing. It seems like if you're looking for a certain type of person, you're going to go to an app that's going to help you find those type of people.
Yes.
There's a lot of left-wing dating sites. There's right-wing. There's animal-loving sites.
Oh yeah, there's a farmer.
You can't
there's
date the
farmer
animals,
websites.
though. I think that's what
that is illegal at this point.
That's South Dakota.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean,
Dakota,
there's all kinds. It's just weird where they get their
It
information
sounds very
on that.
skewed to me,
I
and
think
that's
so.
my opinion. But it
Florida,
sounds like
because
it's like
Florida
how
is
come?
also a mixed mash of people from all over the country. We don't have people.
True, but I feel like it's a lot of hate on Florida right now.
It's
Yeah.
easy to hate on Florida.
It's easy. Yeah, I think so too.
Hey, we're going to be going on the scene with Doreen just a little bit later on. She's actually talking to Jeff Tate, frontman for Queensryche, the band
nice.
Queensryche. So we got that coming up around the corner. Of course, we'll have your trending news and information.
Coming up,
Yeah.
stay with us. DailyFlashShow.com is our website. Check it out.
Hi guys, this week on The Scene with Doreen, I got to sit down with bass vocalist Richard Sturban of the Oak Ridge Boys. We talk about his music and also his time singing with Elvis and so much more. Check it out.
Boom, papa, mow, mow. Giddy up. Boom, papa, mow, mow.
Elvira. I mean, that's probably one of the most iconic bass lines that has ever existed in popular music, and you are the one doing it.
Well, you know, the gentleman that wrote that song, Dallas Frazier, he wrote that line into the song. Giddy up, om papa, mow, mow. And on his version of it, you know, it was not a bass voice. But when we got into the recording studio, I'll never forget that day we recorded the song. Our producer back then was a gentleman named Ron Chansey. It was his idea for me to do the Giddy Up Boom Papa Mow Mow part. So what I did, I just kind of adapted it to my way of doing things. And I think it probably turned out okay. It's probably probably one of the most well-known bass lines in all of the music business. So I'm proud of the way it turned out.
Oh, absolutely.
The main job of the bass singer is that provide that solid foundation for the four-part harmony that the Oak Ridge Boys are well known for. That's our key signature, the four-part harmony.
Lead me, oh Lord, won't you lead me?
I've listened to countless interviews where you talk about your time singing backup with Elvis, but what I haven't heard much is about the last time you and Elvis were together in 1975 as you were leaving to join the Oak Ridge Boys. What did he say to you at that last moment?
While we were all there talking, Elvis kind of pulled me aside, and he said, was a real compliment. He said, you know, do you think there's any way I could get you to come back? And I said, Elvis, you know, I appreciate that. That is a tremendous compliment, but I think I'm where I need to be. I think I'm in the right place here with the Oak Ridge Boys. I think I'm going to stay, you know, with what I'm doing, and I think I made the right decision now that I look back, you know, for over 50 years of a great career. But it was a little bit of a difficult thing at the time. But I told him I think I did the right thing. But it was a tremendous compliment. There's no doubt about it.
What do you take away from your time with Elvis? If you had one thing that you would pass on to others that really is just that one thing that you remember or you keep in your heart, what would it have been of Elvis?
There's a reason why he was the biggest star in the world. And even today, you know, 50 years after he passed away, he's still a big star. No question about it. Because every time he walked on stage, he gave it everything he had. You know, he was, you know, every person in that audience was important to him. And I tried to adopt that philosophy myself in my career with the Oak Ridge Boys. We have as a group, and I think that's one of the reasons that we've had a career that has lasted over 50 years, because we feel the very same way. But he was a special person, and he always gave it everything he had every night, every minute he was on that stage.
The American-made farewell tour, you're in the process of it, you're all over, but I do want to give a shout out. Camden, New Jersey, your hometown, so you're going to be here near it on July 31st at the Ocean City Pier in New Jersey, and on August 2nd, you're going to be at the Keswick Theater in Glenside, PA.
It's going to be a celebration. We're going to celebrate the great career that we've been able to have. Come on out and celebrate with us together.
I had a great time talking with Richard Sturban. What a good old boy. And if you want to hear more of our good old conversation, you can visit right here. And for now, I'm Doreen Taylor with The Scene with Doreen here at the Daily Flash each and every week. See you next time.
This year, you don't have to dread the end of the summer. Here to help us prep for back to school and get us fall ready, we have two shopping experts, Audrey McClellan, founder of MomGenerations.com, an online destination for mothers, and Brianna Keene Bryant of BJ's Wholesale Club, live from beautiful coastal Rhode Island with the scoop on managing the hustle and bustle. Welcome.
Thanks so much for having us. That's right, back to school season is upon us, and BJ's Wholesale Club is your one-stop shop for all of your essentials, from your dorm room essentials, any kids heading off to college, apparel, your basic school needs, pencils, pens, notebooks, technology. They've got everything right there, and that's not all.
Yes, absolutely. Plus, BJ's Wholesale Club helps you save up to 25% of grocery store prices every day, which is huge. We have fresh produce, the apples, the grapes. What I love also is shopping our Wellesley Farms and Berkeley Jensen exclusive brands. You'll see we have great after-school snacks like applesauce pouches and granola bars. I also love the savings that we get with shopping our Berkeley Jensen home essentials and paper products like our detergent and our paper towels. BJ's Wholesale Club also has a tremendous way to help members save time and money when shopping. At BJ's, we have a wide variety of convenient shopping options for our members to choose from. We have in-club shopping, curbside pickup, in-club pickup, and my family's favorite, same-day delivery, where you can get your groceries delivered right to your front door in as little as 2 hours.
And they've actually extended the same-day delivery not only to the groceries, but to big-ticket items, furniture, televisions, and more. Not to mention as well, I love the Express Pay option. Through the BJ's app, you can scan items as you go, bypass the checkout lines. I also love, too, that you can use manufacturer coupons right at BJ's, and you can get that double savings because you can still use BJ's coupons. Always great added value. And don't forget, too, they have services for members that are great. BJ's Optical, BJ's Gas, and also BJ's Tire Center with back to school upon us. Those are 3 services that are really good you want to take advantage of.
So become a BJ's Wholesale Club member today. We have over 240 locations, so just come right into one of the clubs nearest you or sign up online at bjs.com, and we'll see you in the club.
Every day, hundreds of our military personnel leave the service in search of civilian employment. July 25th is National Hire a Veteran Day, a reminder to employers to consider hiring veterans to fill their open positions. Joining us now with more are U.S. Army veteran Michelle Horn and Joe Jenna, Director of Talent Acquisition at 84 Lumber. Michelle, I'm going to start with you. What are some of the most common challenges veterans face when they're entering the civilian workforce?
Yeah, one of the biggest challenges is finding employment. Most veterans have never gone through the hiring process, so everything is brand new, from building a resume to determining how to negotiate a salary. It's all new.
That's interesting. Tell us why it's important to actually have a day that's really just dedicated to hiring veterans.
Yeah, National Hire a Veteran Day bridges the gap between veterans and employers. It allows employees or future employees to know that these companies value their work, and it also is a great opportunity for employers to honor veterans.
Joe, over to you. Tell us about 84 Lumber's commitment to hiring veterans, and what's your experience been with actually hiring them as employees?
84 Lumber has made a commitment to hiring the men and women that have served in the U.S. military. These individuals end up coming in and being key contributors and really do move up in our company ranks very quickly.
I'd like to hear the advice both of you have for veterans that might be looking for work.
If they check out 84lumber.com/careers and then use the hashtag #HireAVeteran, we'll also be doing a national call center on July 25th from 10 a.m. till noon Eastern time. They'll be able to speak to a live representative about how their military skills can transfer directly to a career with 84 Lumber. And the number for that is 724-228-1885.
Fantastic. Where can folks go if they want more info?
84lumber.com/careers, and they'll be able to find a job in their local area.
I want to thank both of you for joining us. We'll make sure we post this information on our website, dailyflashshow.com.
Whether you're looking for a late summer island escape or already planning ahead for a fall Caribbean, destinations can offer a lot of value this time of year. Travel expert Janine Tornatore is here to share some of what you'll want to add to the top of your list. Welcome, Janine.
Great to be here.
So let's start with some of the advantages of traveling to the Caribbean right now.
Yeah, well, this is the shoulder season here, and there are some really compelling advantages, namely fewer crowds, really attractive pricing, and some great promotions this time of year. Just to give you an example, Marriott Bonvoy members can earn up to an extra 10,000 bonus points just by coming here between now and September 9th at participating hotels in the Caribbean. So some really great ways to save not just on your hotel rate, but also get those extra bonus points as well.
Okay, let's talk about your first picks for Caribbean destinations, St. Martin, all that. Can you tell us about those places?
Yeah, I want to start in St. Martin. This is such a beautiful island destination. Let's start with the JW Marriott St. Martin Beach Resort. This sits on beautiful Dawn Beach. It's a really serene island getaway. You have their Opal Lobby Lounge where the mixologists can make you some of their great craft cocktails. You can indulge in treatments in their hibiscus spa. And they have a really great swim-up bar, plus lots of things like chef-led culinary and mixology workshops. So I really love this property. It's a fantastic option. And then I would also suggest Puerto Rico. I love Puerto Rico. No passport required for U.S. citizens. Easy flights, especially from East Coast airports. And there's a lot of diversity, not just in the landscapes, but in the properties here as well. A couple I want to highlight quickly. The Sheraton Puerto Rico Resort and Casino. This is one of the top urban resorts in the heart of San Juan. They have 503 rooms, 22 suites, a rooftop infinity pool, fantastic views, a great spa here. Love this property. And if you want to go a little bit more luxury, one of Puerto Rico's most exclusive luxury properties is called Dorado Beach. It is a Ritz-Carlton reserve. It's a sanctuary set on 50 acres of what used to be the Rockefeller estate. And what's really special about this property is it's luxury residences. So if you're traveling with a group, with a family, you want to stay in these residences because you get all these residential amenities. You get a private concierge, get your own private plunge pool. You get all these great private outdoor spaces. So it can make it extra special. Not to mention, this property is all about connecting you with the local culture through its food, its dining experiences, its spa, and even its bespoke excursion.
Sounds great, Janine. Where can we go for more info?
Well, these are all Marriott properties, so check out MarriottBonvoy.com for these and for more great Caribbean inspiration.
Fantastic. We'll have all that on our website, dailyflashshow.com.
Anything that we show you here on the show and you miss it and you go, oh, what was that link? Don't worry about it. We got you taken care of. Our website, it's waiting for you right now, dailyflashshow.com. So easy to navigate, so easy to find everything that we've been talking about, as well as all of our franchises. You can find them there, videos, links, and of course, we love hearing from you. There's a, hey, call to action. We want to hear from you. Shout out to us. Just click the button. It'll drop an email and we can share your comments on the air. But if you don't go to the site, you won't benefit from it. You got to go to dailyflashshow.com. It's made especially for you. I promise. More Flash after this.
This is Tim. Tim is all about time, and if you've ever had a chance to look into Tim's cold, dead eyes, you'll see that it's time for you to follow us on social media. Sure, there's 10,000 social sites out there, and we don't have the time to name them all. Seriously, just ask Tim. So take the time to look for Daily Flash TV on your favorite social sites, and start following us. That's all the time, Tim. Goodbye.
Guy freaks me out.
That poor B-roll guy.
All righty, hey, welcome back to the next show. We love having you along for the ride.
So, what do you think about Bill Belichick, former head coach of the Patriots, dating a 24-year-old cheerleader?
I mean,
okay, listen. Hey, more power to him. Number one,
Yeah.
I have dated somebody much younger. It's very hard to have a conversation sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and at the beginning they're like, "Oh no, we get along," but they'll make references,
Yeah.
and I have no idea, and vice versa. So
Yeah.
It's funny because Gronk brought it up on the Julian Edelman's podcast, and there were like 3 things that Belichick always said to stay away from him, and one of them was girls.
Oh, is that right?
And they're like, and he's been dating her for a while. This isn't new. This has been for about 4 or 5 months already.
And he was dating a gal named Linda for the longest time, and they'd been together for, I think, at least 3 or 4 years. They broke up, and he started dating the 24-year-old. Is she a Patriots cheerleader? I think she is.
They met on an airplane, and that's where they met, and they obviously blossomed from that point. But now they're showing him leaving the house shirtless.
Yes.
And I was like, leave the guy alone, man.
I know.
This is like one of the greatest football coaches ever.
all
Let
time.
him have his day.
He's partying now because I mean everybody saw him in those press conferences. He looked like he had he was stuck up
serious.
and everything. Now he seems all loosey goosey. He's doing the roast. He's going to do the show with the Mannings.
Yes,
during football season.
that's right. I think he's always that guy off camera. I think on camera it was a different kind of
think so, yeah.
persona. And
I think he understood that.
I think he's definitely earned his right to party
yeah.
now that he's retired. Well, semi-retired, I guess.
And again, more power to him. Keeping up with somebody that much younger could be really his granddaughter, almost, right? So think about
The
it.
gal that he's dating, the 24-year-old, apparently dated another guy who was about his same age prior to. So I don't know whether she just likes older guys.
There's some daddy issues right there, man.
There.
I would just love to hear the conversations, honestly.
wouldn't.
Just to see. No, I would love to hear trying to find out what's an emoji, and then he's trying to talk football.
What's a hot Tua?
Yeah, hot Tua.
Hot Tua.
On the Twitter, on the tweet.
All right, I tell you what, we appreciate having you along for the ride. Thank you all so much for joining us. Bye-bye.
Be good, everybody. On the gram.